Hello and welcome to Disney with the Ducks. I'm your host for today, Lonnie G. And hey, look, I am joined by a great group of ducks from all over this great United States. I have Jody B joining me. How are you, Jody?
I'm great. Hi, friends. How are you?
Good deal. I have Kevin. Kevin, how are you tonight, sir?
Doing great. About as good as I can be. Good to see you guys.
Good deal. And of course, we have Mean Gene. Woo! How you doing tonight, Gene?
Man, if I was any better, there'd be two of me. Can you imagine that?
No, I could not imagine two of you. But so, guys, tonight we have a great show for you. It's one I was been looking forward to because I love this discussion topic we're going to have. It's our favorite character dinners, and then we're going to talk about some concepts. So I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say. This is, of course, episode 55. But before we get started, as we're recording this tonight, we are a short 4 days away from Princess Weekend, one of a great run Disney event. And we wanted you guys to have a correspondent, a duck in the fold down there to bring you up to date happenings. So our very own Jody B, our princess of the duck group, will be down there for Princess Weekend. So Jody, are you excited?
I am excited. A little nervous because it's supposed to be incredibly hot, and I don't deal with the heat very well. My run on Saturday, it was 22. So 22 degrees and 90 degrees are a huge swing of difference. So I'm a little worried about the heat, but it's gonna be awesome. Princess Weekend's a lot of fun. A lot of ladies running that race. A lot of costumes. I think more costumes than Marathon Weekend because the distance are shorter. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Get to spend some one-on-one time with my daughter. And as my 12-year-old son said that he and Tim are going to have boys' party at the house while we're gone. So we'll see what that means.
It's gonna be pizza, chips, no diet, all that good stuff. Well, thank you for volunteering to going down there for us. And of course, we're gonna give a detailed trip report when you come back. But can you give us a little high end, like a 500 feet view of what you'll be doing on that, like where you're staying? You have any plans set up, what parks you're going to, all the good stuff?
Yeah, so flying in, we actually changed our flight to Wednesday night at no extra cost. So super excited about that. That means we don't have to deal with the expo craziness, trying to get into the queue and all that stuff. So we're going to stay at a Good Neighbor Hotel Wednesday night. Never have done that before, but we're going to do that and head up Disney Springs for dinner. Go back, and then we're going to hit the parks early Thursday morning. We're going to go straight to Animal Kingdom, go over there, hit the expo, rest a little in the afternoon, go back to Animal Kingdom. We're going to do Yakety Yeti, which I've never done before, for dinner, get a good night's sleep. Next day, we're hitting Epcot, so I'll be on the course, hopefully getting a Guardians lightning lane, how that works. Gonna try that out.
Watch the popcorn.
I won't have. I'm going to have some maple popcorn, but not regular popcorn.
Yeah, not that popcorn.
Probably do another afternoon break. We're going to have dinner at Via Napoli, which I've never done before, so that will be fun.
I love Via Napoli.
Then what day is that? That's then Saturday. We're going to do 10K. We're doing Magic Kingdom. That will be her last day of races. So we're going to do medal photos at Magic Kingdom that day. It's also her 16th birthday. Is 3 days from. So I've got a 16th birthday sash and all that special stuff. So we're going to do some photos in front of Magic Kingdom and the castle. That night, we're going to have dinner at Grand Floridian Cafe, which is also another place I've never been before. So those are 3 new restaurants for me. And my friend Trudy is going to join us for dinner that night. And then I have to go to bed early because I'm running the half on Sunday. She is not. She is sleeping in. We're going to hit Hollywood Studios the final day. I'm going to let her go to the parks by herself first thing in the morning. So,
well, she's 16 now. She can do that.
Well, I trust her. She knows just as much, if not more, than I do. She watches all the vlogs and blogs and Instagram people. I don't know. She knows all sorts of stuff. So I'm not too worried about her running around the parks for a couple hours by herself without me. So yeah, and then I'll catch up with her and we'll fly out late Sunday night, and we will both be putting toothpicks in our eyes on Monday morning, going to work and school. So it'll be a fun 4 days, but hopefully we're gonna build memories. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. And I can't wait to hear the detailed trip report. It's one of my favorite things to hear what you've done. And hopefully you give us some tips so that we can try some of those things as well. My daughter and I are going to, she's graduating from college in May, and she wants. Well, I know it keeps changing because she wanted a cruise. We got that, and now she wants to go do the wine and dine. So my wife's like, "Y'all go." So we're gonna have our own daughter daddy trip. So I'm
Love
hoping you can get some tips for that as well.
Love it. I love wine and dine. It's a fun race. So
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So I already asked Scotty G stay in the same resort that we are, and so he's got a car. So I already asked him if he could pick up some waters for me because we're not going to have a car. So I'm like, can you grab some water because it's going to be really hot and I'm going to need lots of water. So little warmer than I'm used to. So we'll see how that part goes. I'm a little nervous, but it'll be fun.
But it's a dry heat.
Oh, sure it is. Sure it is.
No humidity at all.
Nah, I'm not have to worry about that. Well, thank you, Jody. And look, have fun. Be careful. Have fun. I know you'll do great. So, guys, if you see Jody around, just stop, say hi to her. She'll be the one probably updating the Ducks Instagram page for us, but I'm sure she'll love to say hello to everyone. So, we'll get right to our show for tonight, which is character dining. Right. So, Kevin, character dining at Disney. Any stats for us?
So I've got a update on that. There's a lot of them have started coming back. There are there are 4 without characters right now that used to, and just as a date. So today is February the 19th. So just to give you a frame of reference. So
Of what year, Kevin?
The year of our Lord, 1923.
Yeah, 1923. Yeah.
1923.
I mean, 2023. I don't know.
I don't want, but Gene he soft pitches it for me.
Sometimes I just
If
lob
I
it up
don't
there for you.
respond, if I don't
Disney's
respond,
brand new. Disney just started. 1923, right?
Flapper dresses and
There's never been a Disney before, but now there is all of a sudden in February 23 of 1923. So, but yeah, so Garden Grove, Trattoria El Farno, Perfectly Princess Tea Party, and Wonderland Tea Party currently do not have character dining, but used to. So the rest of them have either a modified from what it used to be or soon to be back to normal. One of those is Cinderella's Royal Table. By this time in about a week, February 28th, it'll go back to pretty much what it was before. So I know COVID kind of put a spin on all of this, but yeah, there's a lot of options right now that weren't there this time last year. So
we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, so when this goes into the time capsule, and in 2,000 years when it's dug up, we had something called the Great Unpleasantness. So Disney had to change a lot. So now they're getting back. So we're hoping we'll get back. So so here we go. We'll get started and talk about our favorite character dining. So Jody, you've been to a bunch of them. You're our resident expert here. You have to force rank them. We wanted your favorite character dining spot.
So hard. So I had counted that at one point in time, there were 14 active character dining opportunities at Walt Disney World, but I did not count the tea. So Kevin, you threw me off of the tea events there. So I guess there were more than 14. And we as a family have done 13 of the 14. The only one that we have not done is Cape May Cafe and the tea parties, because I didn't know about the tea parties. So we've done quite a few of them. And I have to be honest, it was hard to pick favorites because there's some that I like for the food. There's some that I like for the characters. But quite frankly, really what it came down to is the ones that I like for our family memories. So, but it was really hard. So had my daughter had to rank this, she would have said Ohana Breakfast because she loves Lilo and Stitch. Mm-hmm. I think my husband would have said 1900 Park Plaza with the evil stepsisters because they're hilarious and they gave kiss marks all over my son and he was so cute with them and hilarious and everything was great. I probably would have said the Bon Voyage breakfast at Trattoria El Forno because I have a little thing for not Eugene from Tangled.
Not Eugene.
Not Eugene. Eugene, but the other Eugene from Tangled. But I would say probably my favorite across the board, probably, believe it or not, is Garden Grill breakfast for a couple reasons. I love that Mickey's there. The classic characters are there. They're fun. They spend a lot of time with you at your table, and they've got that cinnamon roll for breakfast, which you just can't argue with. I mean, it's so good.
If
It's
you
a great
argued with a cinnamon roll, I think something's wrong with you.
It's like the world's largest cinnamon roll that you have to try to share as a family. I don't know how great we do at sharing it. It's like murder with the forks and who can grab it first. It's, a little cutthroat there, but I just love the breakfast. I think it's a great way to start off at Epcot. Every time we've had it, we've had pre-park opening breakfast, which I think also makes it pretty special because we can get in there before everybody else does. I don't know, that it was really hard to pick one out of the whole list, but that may be my favorite. But I don't know that one's happening right now. I don't think that the characters are back at Garden Grill. Kevin, did you say Garden Grill?
Garden Grill.
They are back.
They are back.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that because that's my favorite. But Joey, you got me. But I'm gonna have to try to think of something else. I don't know. But
I only had a list of 14, and I kind of cheated and said like 3. So or 4. So there's a lot that I like. There's very few that I don't like, but So, but I could easily switch it to the one that's not happening. The 2 that aren't happening right now are actually 2 of my favorites. So.
So I've got a question, and I've only been to 2, but having been to so many, what maybe give some of our listeners kind of what the differences are other than the characters. I mean, do different locations have different setups? I mean, do they walk around? I know that different characters have different themes, but so you may see Mickey in a safari hat or something like that, but
I think when the kids were little in particular, and they were super into getting their autograph books signed and the pictures done with the characters, that was a great way to meet characters. They could get hugs and signatures and time with characters without going to stand in a line.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the food is actually pretty darn good at some of the character meals. People can say one thing or another about them, but I've typically have liked most of the food. There's a couple that are maybe not my favorite, but when Lindsay was little and meeting princesses was a really huge deal. That was such an easy way. Go to either Cinderella Royal Table or, and forgive me, I'm sure I'm going to say
Epcot,
Arker House or Arker
House, yeah.
In Norway.
Akershus.
Yes, that place in Norway. That was a great way to see princesses in the morning. When you have a little girl and they want to just see princesses, food was not great, but experience was. So, but
little girl or John Kroll, either one.
But Kevin, for me, you just get more than standing in line for a half an hour for a quick photo shoot. The big difference, though, you have to have your own camera. None of them provide a PhotoPass photographer, so it's always your own. And listen, back in the day, I had the real camera with the Canon or the Nikon with the real lens and taking the real picture and doing the whole now I just use my cell phone.
So I know during COVID, some of them kind of changed a little bit and did more of like a show.
Yeah, so that was our Topolino breakfast experience was during COVID, and that one, unfortunately, where we were sitting, we were kind of far away from the action, so like every picture I have was of a table in front of us with those people in front of us, but that was COVID times, right? Like that was a little different, so you kind of have to put an asterisk next to that. So anyway, yeah, so I kind of cheated and named like all of them.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's right.
I mean, but to your point, though, there's so many good ones, right? So, how do you pick your favorite? Well, we'll see, because Kevin's going to tell us his favorite.
Okay, so like I said a minute ago, I've only been to 2. So I've been to Crystal Palace. So that's Winnie Pooh and Friends and Cinderella's Royal Table. I was there for our engagement for that. So I think that one has to be my favorite, or I'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
So
smart man.
That was a good one. But going to Crystal Palace with the kids when they were little, they were terrified of Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore and Tigger, which that was awesome. They hid under the table while we all ate Mickey waffles, but they finally came around, and it was fun to watch them warm up to the characters like that. Like you wouldn't wait in line for 4 hours and then they, at least that you had a minute. And that's something that I liked about it. Like you mentioned, you get more time with the characters and stuff. And I think that's what helped our kids when they were little to kind of warm up to those, non-face characters, more of the costume, full costume. So
Good deal. That's a good one.
And does Crystal Palace have the same characters at breakfast and dinner? Do they have characters all three meals?
No, let's see if it's the same.
I don't know, to be honest.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's buffet, of course. Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Tigger, and Eeyore.
Okay.
They're the same.
They're the same for all. Yeah.
And do they still wave the napkins? Do they still do that at Crystal Palace? Has anyone done that before?
No.
Okay, so this is Tim and I were engaged, I think, when we were at Crystal Palace, and you would do this napkin parade, and you wave your napkins in the air when the Winnie the Pooh. No, everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. No? Okay.
And you wave them like you just don't care.
Yeah. Do the helicopter.
Kevin, when you were there, were the little Einsteins there?
No.
So that's how long ago it was. For my kids were really, my 19-year-old was 5, 6, 7. So it was a while back,
But wasn't that at Hollywood and Vine? Isn't that where the Disney Junior characters are?
I don't think I've been to Hollywood. Like I said, I'm going to probably say something about some of this stuff that's going to be wrong because Christy and I, it's been a long time, and but I don't think I went to Hollywood and Vine.
Okay.
She knows Crystal Palace, and we talked about Winnie the Pooh and Little Einsteins being there. And again, this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Maybe
a
we
lot
should
of
have,
them
maybe
changed.
should have her
Lineups
come
have
on.
changed over the years. So
Yeah, that or maybe she was given a bunch of different ones, and Gene just tunneled into Little Einstein's. I can say one thing for sure: Gene and I did not go. So if he went, this is him. Because usually I would say, "Hey, no, Gene, you went with me." Not this time. So Gene, dude, I want to hear what's your favorite because it's one that you didn't go with me. So I want to know what's you're cheating on me.
he just disappears. There
I
he
didn't
is.
hang up. I'm just joking. I actually have done quite a bit of character dining. Not a single one with you or you, Kevin, or you, Jody. I've not done that on a single Run Disney trip. However, going with my family, few times we've been, that's when we did this. I've been to Crystal Palace, Chef Mickey, 1900 Park Fair, Akershus, I don't know how you say it, Ohana. We don't know. I don't know if Whispering Canyon at some point had character dining. I know that it said, you look on the internet, it says that Storybook Dining at Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge. I don't remember that. Again, this was a long time ago.
Yeah,
For me, sir, I'm sorry.
Dopey, Grumpy, Snow White, and the Evil Queen.
And that's a relatively new one. That just happened like
Yeah.
2018 or 19.
But
So-
Christy and I both seem to remember Whispering Canyon and there being characters, but we could be wrong.
Well, I mean, every time you walk in the spot, you're the character. So
Well, that's
usually, they want to take pictures with you.
Yeah.
They want to do this and that. I mean,
Yeah.
you're famous.
Yeah, probably. You mentioned it. I mean, Ohana. I mean, it just was a great experience. The food was so good. As far as we talk about this with the food. We had 3 families. We had a great time, and it was just a great experience. And so that's probably my favorite. But there's food involved with all of them. So probably the Viking food was the most different, but I still ate all of it. I was on the meal plan. It was great, and there were characters. The kids had a great time. They were all really good. I enjoyed them all. Christy and I were talking about this on a previous show. I remember you guys talking about just the benefits of scheduling a character breakfast and or just any kind of breakfast reservations in the park. Just the benefits of that, being able to go into the park before it's open and kind of see things from that standpoint, and then be able to, basically you're beating rope drop, if you time it right. Things like that. I don't remember taking it. We weren't smart enough. We didn't know enough about Disney back then to take advantage of any of those things. But I know that I ate breakfast and it was good. And all these other, all those other meals, the kids had a great time and it was fun.
I think that's a good point is the breakfast, especially with kids. I mean, because they're rearing to go and ready to go to the park. That's a really good way to kick the day off. and let them be around a lot of characters early on and get a good breakfast in you, and then be there early for the parks. So,
another thing that, just to your point, Kevin, we ate, I don't know, we were on a cheer trip back in May, and we don't get a chance to eat at nice restaurants because our schedule is just, it's so up in the air. We made some reservations for something, then changed it to Mama Melrose, and that was fine. But even when you don't have a schedule that's chaotic like that, if you decide in the middle, 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock, whatever time you've got to pick up and go to another park or another resort at night, when you're in the middle of stuff, you're like you said, you're hard charging, in a certain direction in a park. Sometimes that's difficult, and that's why I like the breakfast especially, but lunch too, because you might not be, lunchtime might be a good time for a break, to be able to make that pivot,
Well, especially now that you can't park hop till 2, so you're stuck in that first park until 2 o'clock. And I just counted them up. There's 3 character dinings at Magic Kingdom, 2 at Epcot, 1 at Hollywood Studios, 1 at Animal Kingdom, and the other 7 are or previously were at resorts. So you can hit one at every park. But I agree with you, Gene. That's a good idea to kind of get up and get moving and kind of not knock that off your list, but it's a good way to start off in the morning. And sometimes you have the best intentions of going someplace else in the evening, but you may just be tired.
Yeah, right.
You may be full and you don't want to go, or your kids may be tired. You may be tired.
You got some bad popcorn. There's so many different
popcorn,
so many things.
So many things. So and back in the day, rest in peace, the good old tape or the meal plan that they used to have that they don't anymore. Breakfast used to be 1 credit, and some of these others used to be 2. So that was always the trick. If you went for breakfast, you were only using 1 meal credit instead of 2, and you could still see all the characters. So
it's the most important meal of the day.
It is.
That's what they say. Yeah. I think that's all 3 great choices. I thought about it, and I just have to go back to Garden Grill as just being my favorite as well, like Jody. And I'm gonna deviate because the breakfast is great there, but I'm gonna go to the dinners, which are just as good there. Some of the things I love about Garden Grill is the memories, right? So it was one of a trip with me and the family, and we kind of just sat down. And the good thing about Garden Grill, it kind of rotates, right? So you get good views of Living with the Land, which is very unique, right? And the characters are always coming by. And I remember one time we went and we had chase characters and we couldn't find everybody. But then we got to Garden Grill, everyone was there, right? We went for like a Thanksgiving night, right? And the food was great. And at one point I was like, man, Mickey needs to stop coming over here. I mean, because every time I'm trying to eat, he's over here, right? So the characters always was around, and I'm like, Chip, go away. Let me eat, and it is family style. So they keep bringing stuff out to you, right? Which is, to me is a good value. At recording, it's like $55 for an adult, $36 for kids. At time of recording, that can change. But I think overall, when you look at a meal at Disney, that's not bad. It's really not to say you get so much. And I know for our Thanksgiving feast, it was great. So I'm going to go with Garden Grill for the characters, the fact that it's so different that it rotates, that you get to see so many things. And the food is pretty good.
Yeah. And just looking at the list of all of them, I mean, just the average prices, what you just mentioned, that, 45 kind of range is kind of the average across the board. I mean, there's a few outliers, but that's pretty much right around the average in the upper 40s to mid 50s. So
what I appreciate about what you were saying, Lonnie, about those family style, if there's something you like, you can easily ask for more. So for example, Ohana, we'll just take Ohana breakfast with Lilo and Stitch and friends. I don't really love the ham, but my family is a huge bacon fan. So I just they call everybody cousin there, cousin. And I said, hey, is there any possible way we could get some bacon as opposed to the ham? He brought out a platter of bacon that was piled from here to the sky. And my crew went in on that bacon like they've never seen bacon before. And they were so happy. And, sometimes that's instead of having to get up and go to the buffet, because I think sometimes as a mom in particular, when your kids are little, when you're dealing with a buffet, you have to go get their food and then get them down and then cut it and make sure they're eating. And then they want something else. And you go, as the mom, they could be finished with their meal before I've had one bite of any food at all because I'm busy managing everybody else. But as the family style, they bring the food to you and you can request something that you would like a little bit more of or a little, less of. And so I like the family style meals better than the buffets. And then there are a couple of them that you just order an entree, like Topolino's breakfast is like that. You order an entree for breakfast, it's what you get. There's not a, family style or buffet. It's more of a traditional, you're ordering off the menu. This is what you get and that's what you get. So they all have their advantages and disadvantages.
That's a really good point about the buffets because that is absolutely true.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I love the food at Disney. Buffets kind of give me a little bit of an angst because you see some kids in there and it run around the tongs and this and that and all that. I mean, and I remember a while ago I was watching the 2020 episode. I'm deviating.
Oh no! Don't tell me.
And it had a chicken cam, and it had now this not at Disney. This was at another restaurant. So that we don't get sued, I won't mention it. But they had a piece of chicken that was there like all day, and it had like the chicken cam would just be on that one piece of chicken, and it just kept putting more chicken on top of it. So, Jeff, feel free to cut that out. If you don't, chicken cam. So, so we talked about our favorites. So now, guys, look, we're Imagineers, right? Disney does a lot of great things well, but we can do it better. So if we were creating our own character meal, Gene, what would you do and how would you create it?
Why do you always call me first? All right. I got some really good ideas. I didn't go, my favorite franchise in the wide world is Star Wars, of course. But I know that Kevin is going to have, he's probably got 7 pages of Star Wars character dining. So I'm leaving that to him. Okay.
I appreciate that, Gene.
Sure. I think I have some really good ideas.
You said Star Wars, and Kevin was like, "Oh no!" Look on his face, was like, "I got nothing."
See, dude, I take care of my people.
You do.
I think that of my list, I've got some really good ideas. I think one of the best ideas we've ever had. I'm not going to take credit for it. Somebody came up with it. We've talked about different ideas for Muppets, but I think that Liberty Tree Tavern with Muppet founding fathers, that's it. That's
awesome.
$1 million idea right there.
That's awesome.
Oh, now Jody got the look in her face.
Yes.
You have that idea?
No.
Okay.
Why did I not have that idea?
You
That's
win, Gene. You win.
Can you imagine Sam Eagle running around there?
Oh, I know it. It'd be so great.
mean, literally, that'd be awesome. I would go. I don't know if they'll serve bacon with Miss Piggy there. That might be an issue when she walks by the table and serves bacon in her hand.
The frog legs.
Yeah. But that would be pretty good, Gene. That'd be pretty good.
I got some other good ideas, but I'm gonna let y'all have it.
All right. Jody B.
Okay, so I was counting, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 opportunities to meet Mickey and friends.
Right.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 opportunities to meet princess type people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, having both a daughter and a son, what I found challenging when he was little as character dining opportunities for boys.
Yeah.
Because, I think they did a pretty good job at Bon Voyage because they would have a princess and a prince, like Ariel and Eric were there, right? So there were the two. But, I mean, let's just be honest. At Cinderella's Royal Table, there's no prince. At Be Our Guest, there's the Beast who comes out only at dinner, which is cool. But, at Hollywood.
I knew I saw characters at Be Our Guest. I knew it.
Yeah. So I think that they're, and I love Mickey and Pals, right? I love them, right? So those are gender neutral. You can go both. Everybody loves Mickey and Pals. But I think when he was little, I felt
Mickey's
like we were doing a lot of princess type things because his older sister liked them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a couple franchises that allow themselves to be family friendly that everybody in the family likes. Like Incredibles, I think would be really cool, but I don't know how you do that because they're supers. And so the easiest one I think to do would be Toy Story. I think Toy Story, they've got Toy Story Land, they've got the space. They need people to get out of that heat over there because it's blazing hot in Toy Story Land. They're putting a restaurant in there. They're not making it character dining, which I do not understand at all. But I think that's a great opportunity for families to enjoy a chance for character dining. I think you could put Woody and Buzz and pals in there, and maybe some at breakfast, some at dinner. I don't know, but I think that would be an absolute slam dunk home run concept to do a Toy Story meal, especially since it's their land.
That's a good one. I do
Yeah.
like that one. I do like
Yeah.
Toy Story characters, and the fact you can see Buzz, you can see Woody. I think that would be a good draw.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And you can put like Bo Peep and stuff there for your daughters and stuff. So I think it'd be
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
good.
but you have Jess. I mean, you don't even
Yeah.
need it really. I
Okay,
mean, there's just so many cool.
Mhm.
It's. I think they did a good job with Storybook at Artist Point because you've got Snow White and the Evil Queen, but you also have Dopey and
Grumpy.
and maybe Sleepy. One of those other ones are there. Which, by the way, that's a cool one to do for if you do marathon weekend. If you're doing Dopey to try to get that
Mhm.
reservation for dinner. By the way, that's a really good one. But so that one they did bring in, some of the Seven Dwarfs in there and kind of mix it up a little bit. But some of the others, they are really princess heavy. So I think a Toy Story could be kind of cool to include everybody. So that's my idea.
Good idea. So we're gonna ask Kevin, and I have no idea what he's gonna say.
No
But
clue.
Kevin, I am on the edge of my seat.
I know.
Character dining, what you got?
So I'm recreating one of the best movies of all time, the best movie of all time, Empire Strikes Back, on Bespin, and it is a dessert party with none other than Darth Vader and Boba Fett.
Perfect.
So you walk in, the door opens, and he's standing there just welcoming you in, and you get all these little, Star Wars type goodies, and then afterwards you get frozen in carbonite and shipped off to Jabba's palace. So
Nice.
where you freeze to death as you travel through light speed. But yeah, so mine is right there beside the Falcon. You get some Ugnaughts in there, kind of walking you through, poking
Perfect.
you, making you get in. So yeah,
And
That's
there's space back there because we've all been
there is
Yeah,
space back
we've
there.
all been
That door that opens up
evacuated.
would be perfect.
Yeah, we've all been evacuated at one point in time
Mhm.
through that area back there. So there's some space back there. They could add a
For
whole
sure.
character meal back there. But Kevin, that's an interesting idea to add characters to a dessert party. That's not a bad idea. You could do that in all the different parks and add some characters to dessert parties and make it really unique. Like you could do an Animal Kingdom where you could have maybe Pocahontas and or oh my gosh, you could have Lonnie's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. You could have them as a dessert party in Animal Kingdom.
Swiss Family Robinson.
You could have that. That demand would be so high, Gene, for Swiss Family Robinson dessert party.
The Jungle Book characters. I mean, from everybody
that would
from
be awesome.
Mowgli to the orangutans. Perfect.
But I think if you did rare characters for a dessert party, you would. I mean, those things are already popular as they are, but
Mhm.
that's a good idea, Kevin. I like that.
Good
I'm all
deal.
I'm sure I surprised at least two of the people on here.
I was surprised.
Oh, I was shocked.
So I had a lot of extra time on my hands today. So I kind of put a lot of thought into this, maybe more than I should have. So my idea is rotational characters based a dining based on events at Disney. Okay, so here's my thought. So the restaurant will be located in Magic Kingdom in the old Stitch Escapes ride, that area right there. And the reason why I wanted to have it there because what's going to happen? So at this dinner, let's say okay, it could be dinner, lunch, 3 meals, but the week before and the week after, say a Run Disney event, you have the characters from that race there. And usually after after the run, all the runners go to Magic Kingdom for their pictures, right? So say if it's marathon weekend, you have Dopey and all the characters, whoever on the medal, there for the week before and the week after. Those other weeks, you can have something or characters based on festivals or activities at Disney. So if it's Food and Wine Festival, let's say it's, you have Figment. We'll have, they say they're coming up with a Figment meet and greet. So we have Figment there. And then you can order just a couple of things from the Food and Wine Festival. You can say, you have it. I want to get this, and that, or you can get a bigger size portion for your meal, right? So instead of having to go to Epcot, you can have it there just for that. And if it's for, Flower and Garden, you can do it for that. Say if it's, Star Wars Day, hopefully we can put a Star Wars Day. Hey, a week before, the week after, we have the Star Wars characters there walking around. And I think the good thing is, if it's like for Springtime Surprise, they're doing Pixar. You can have Pixar characters in there. And even if you want to do it the whole month of the race, just so that you can have somebody there and kind of spend some time and take pictures there with your medals and after races. So that's my idea.
I love that.
That would capture so many more people that normally would not do character dining, I think. Like people that may not have kids to take to those things and then see something like that. I mean, I would jump all over that. That would be so much fun.
At this point, I don't know. Does Disney, are they having to work real hard to get people in these restaurants? I don't guess.
No,
probably not. But it is a value add for them, for us anyway, for the.
Well, and like Lonnie said, that space right there is wide open and empty. I think, Lonnie, that's a great idea. I think pulling out rare characters, Disneyland just had, what did they call it? Cupid Day or Couples Day or something for Valentine's Day. And they brought out like the Adventure Down Under couple and things like that. Like, I think that'd be really fun if it was a rare character that you just, and again, I love the Fab Five. Mickey's great and all of his pals are great, but you can meet him at every park and see them at lots of character meals. But pull out Oswald.
Yeah.
So Figment, oh my gosh. So if you pulled out Figment for a character meal,
it would sell so fast.
If you pulled out that Figment statue that they had on our list, people would lose their mind and pay $100 per person for a meal.
Oh, I mean, you put that Orange Bird statue there. People getting a mouthful of Orange Bird when they're walking in. And they're good to go. But I tell you, I mean, I think the key is, to your point, Jody, Wine and Dine last year were villains. Can you imagine like Bowler Hat guy villains in there running around, or the three hyenas from Lion King? You don't see him that often, but when you see him in the parks, it's kind of, pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So
what if they
do it like that?
They with the new races and stuff they've done, at least in Disneyland, I think Princess may have it, but the morning yoga, I mean, they could add that as another thing to the registration. Yeah. And then they would have them pre-sold like months in advance.
Oh yeah. Everybody's going.
Kevin, think of that. Yeah, that's brilliant. Couldn't do it the night before a race because, you get sick. But that's smart. I like that idea.
Thank you, Disney. Just to send a check to Disney with the Ducks. Or you can sponsor our podcast if you like. We're here for you. So that's our ideas for character dinings at Disney. Like I said, hopefully Disney does listen to us.
For sure.
So we'll see what happens. They may start to sponsor the show. Who knows? But Gene, you mentioned that you had several additional ideas. Hey man, for one, I want to hear what else you got on the Gene's creative team for character dining.
Yeah, so I got actually a couple of restaurants this would fit, but Mulan is awesome and Mushu is awesome, and you should be able to meet them and be able to eat food. So one of my favorite restaurants is Yak and Yeti. Fits sort of. Also Nine Dragons. Either one. I've only done quick service at the cafe or whatever next to Nine Dragons. I haven't actually eaten there. So I don't know, but I mean, like it's going to be bad, right?
Nine Dragons is really pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been there
so that's one idea. Mulan and Mushu and Raya and the Last Dragon. That's an option for there too.
That's a new movie, Gene. I can't believe you know that.
Jody,
I'm serious.
I
I
haven't
seriously
seen
do
it.
it.
I haven't seen it, but I know it's on Disney Plus.
I'm so
I have a
proud of
question.
you.
So Disney can't have like certain Marvel characters, but could they have them as like a character dining, or is that against their?
Well, that's my next idea. But if you have an idea, Kevin.
no. Tell me. I'm
Well,
I'm
so
curious.
we have Guardians of the Galaxy ride. I mean, why not have those characters at a restaurant? I mean, so Kevin and I wouldn't call it a date, but we had dinner, burgers and fries and milkshakes at the Sci-Fi drive-in, whatever it is. And my first idea was actually, I don't know why it just feels like they fit there, but the Incredibles sort of have a retro feel.
They do, yeah.
And the Incredibles and Frozone, and so that was sort of my first idea, was those guys at Sci-Fi Dine-In. But I think for some reason I feel like Guardians fits there too. I mean, I know they haven't actually time traveled or anything, but it's not beyond what you can imagine that the Guardians would do. So there might be a better restaurant fit for. I mean, heck, let's let them have their own restaurant. I don't care. But those are a couple of ideas, and then also, I mean, who doesn't want to hang out with a rat at dinner? So how about Ratatouille at Monsieur Paul, or I don't know.
So
I'm just thinking.
Gene, I've got something to add to your Marvel dinner.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm going to combine it with one of your rides, one of your attractions that you're going to add at Hollywood Studios. We need the Hello There.
Yeah. So
there.
yeah.
Or maybe, you mentioned one with Hawkeye, I think, at one point. You came up with a show with Hawkeye where they're shooting. So it's like dinner and a show. I mean,
that's a great idea.
Have like archery and, the superheroes coming out and doing their little song, kind of like, like Captain America doing his song, the Broadway show.
What was the name of the Broadway show? Steve Rogers.
I can do this all day.
That's what the name of my ride was. I can do this all day. That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's great. That's a great throwback, Kevin. It's like Seinfeld. It just comes back around.
It does.
If we're gonna do a special dinner show, what about a haunted mansion?
Ooh,
boom!
Perfect.
There you go.
Take my money.
Yep.
I'll do it. I want.
Yep.
So
the chef already left though.
There is I don't know, Lonnie, if you heard it the other day, but there was a podcast that you and I listened to, and he got to go to for people who have major milestones at Disney, like 10, 20, 50, etc. They do this huge party at Magic Kingdom. They shut down the park and have the special party. And he said the ghosts, the dancers were out like doing character meets, and you could get your pictures with them, like from the Haunted Mansion. I mean, I've never seen them do a character meet before, but people lose their mind if there was anything Haunted Mansion. That could be fun.
Can you imagine they have the restaurant look like the ballroom?
That's what I'm thinking.
So they dun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great
idea. Like dancing around and stuff.
Oh yeah, dancing around you. And you remember on the ballroom, they always have the one that sticks his head out from underneath the table, so they can do something like that too.
Yep.
Right? Just pop it every now and then. But you got to watch out because you got to make sure people are dressed appropriately. You pop it out from under the table, get yourself a charge or something like that. I don't know. But yes, the idea. We just make sure that the ghost knows. Your ghost host, that is.
That is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost host with the most.
That would be awesome.
I think that's Beetlejuice. He's not there. The ghost with the most. That was Beetlejuice's line, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's okay though. Beetlejuice is still a classic. We give props where props are due. I love that idea, Jody.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
You could take a lot of rides though and make some pretty cool dining after them, I think. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. They should close down Splash Mountain and redo it and have it something like Tiana or something, and then do like a cafe out there with it. I think that'll be good. Like Southern cooking and stuff like that. That's what they should do. Do that right there.
You're at a restaurant, and so serve it as you're waiting in your queue.
Yeah, and then like you come down, you can come out, and you just go through the gift shop, and then you go like left to the restaurant. Say we call it Tiana's Bayou. Let's just call it that, right? And then you can go right out the door. So I think you should do something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody will love that. Nobody will complain about changing Splash.
Mm-mm.
And you know what? So that Disney could actually pay for it, they should sell some of that Splash Water. No, the water from Splash Mountain. They could sell that like actual water
You drink
and
it.
have it. You know,
Look,
and be like,
I have some right here in this cup right here.
yes, and you can pay for
$50
it.
for the highest bidder.
Yeah, you can
Look
pay
at that
for it. Just have
sparkle.
that. You know,
Sparkling.
you're welcome, Disney. You're welcome. What about you, Kevin? Any other ideas?
No, I love those ideas. Those are great.
So we gave our favorite, and we gave our ideas for how, you know, if we can make our own restaurants. Any honorable mentions? So I know, Jody, you've been to all of them, so it's kind of hard to kind of narrow it down. But if you had to pick, say, a second choice because you couldn't get in at the 60-day mark, what's your second choice?
I like Tusker House a lot at Animal Kingdom. I think it's a great way to see the classic characters. I think they offer some unique food that maybe if you don't want to go to Animal Kingdom Lodge for Sanaa or Bilma or something like that, but you want to try something a little bit different, there's some opportunities there. They had this, I don't know what it was at breakfast, but it was some sausage type thing that it was delicious. It was very unique. So they have the normal fare, you know, eggs, bacon, etc. But then they have some other more, I don't want to say customized, but local food from the region there that you can take advantage of. And my trick there, my hack, is to go for a late breakfast, because while they're finishing up the breakfast food, they start bringing out the lunch food, and then you can have a little bit of lunch food too. And there's some really great, interesting salads and choices there that I really like. I like Tusker House a lot. I think the food's good, and but it's hard because Animal Kingdom's got, in my opinion, the best food out of all the parks. So I feel like it's hard to sacrifice everything else there, because I would be perfectly happy eating all the quick service food there because I love it so much. So going to Tusker House is a big sacrifice because you're giving up all those other great foods. So, but I like Tusker House a lot.
Yeah, you're giving up barbecue. You're giving up. I mean, literally, they got a bunch of great things there.
I know.
And even the quick service, you know, like right outside of Yak and Yeti, right? You can go to that little window and get the rice and stuff. And literally, you don't have to do a character meal and still you're eating really good in Animal Kingdom.
I know. Animal Kingdom, hands down, best food. I think even better than Epcot, especially when Epcot doesn't have festivals. I think Animal Kingdom is better, but that's a hot take. I don't know. So that would probably be my, you know, I kind of cheated on my first anyway, and I listed like 4, and I said, you know, this is mine, this is my son's favorite, this is my husband's favorite. But Kevin, you talked about Cinderella's Royal Table, and I think that one gets really bad reviews because it is really expensive. But I will tell you, we've had dinner there twice, and both times I had a seafood dish that was absolutely phenomenal. Like I would go and eat the food just for the food, and
yeah,
and I
had the roasted chicken, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
one of the best roast chicken I've ever had.
It is expensive and it's hard to get into, and it's cutthroat to try to get that reservation. But and people say the food is terrible, but I think the food is pretty.
I think it's good.
I mean, I really liked it. So I don't know. Maybe it was just us.
No, I don't think it's just you.
So yeah, the only one that I have not really cared for, I did not really like Hollywood and Vine very much. And then I didn't care for their food that much. To be perfectly frank, I didn't like my meal very much at Be Our Guest. I was a little underwhelmed by it. Now they've changed it. I think now it's a coursed meal, and I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since we've been there.
Did you try the gray stuff? I heard it's delicious.
It's just frosting, and I don't like frosting. I don't like cake. So
dishes lied, then.
I'm terrible. Terrible.
But
has anyone ever done the storybook at Artist Point besides me? Has anyone ever done that one? That one's actually pretty cool because it's the only place that I know of that you get to meet one of the evil characters, one of the villains. So you get to meet the evil queen at that, and you get a photo shoot with her, which is pretty cool. So, and the dessert presentation there is pretty awesome. It comes in like this box with this like smoked, not like this, like
Dry ice.
yeah, dry ice type thing. And the presentation there is kind of cool. We didn't have a great server there, but we had a really cool experience at the meal there. So that's not one that you've done. That one's kind of cool and kind of it's different. That's what I like about it. It's not just Mickey and Pals or princesses. It's got a pretty cool mix. So that would probably be my other runner up. Now that I've just listed 15 restaurants.
I was saying, there's no other one I can actually list. I think Jody hit them all. I'll just say Ohana will probably be my runner-up, just because I like it.
Does Ohana just
it's
have
just-
character for breakfast, or they don't have it at lunch and dinner, right?
just for breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, at least I went to dinner and it didn't have them
Okay.
when I went. But it did have the sticky wings and the bread that was really good. So hey, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Gene, you have a runner-up?
I'm having a hard time here. I think 1900 Park Fair. They're not doing. I don't think right now they're doing any character anything, from what I can tell. But the food was really good, and it was just a different experience because princesses. I mean, I know you see princesses everywhere, but the princess, and it was more like a fine dining experience. It was fancier, and we weren't fancy, but they were. And the food was, and the whole experience was. So it was just a little bit different.
I can't figure out why they haven't brought that one back yet. I don't know why that one is still not back from COVID. Because it's at Grand Floridian and everything else is open there. So I mean, Victoria and Albert's is open. So you would think they could handle it, but maybe it's a staffing issue. I don't know.
Maybe so.
But I agree with you. That was a good one.
Dang, Bob Iger. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just repeating y'all.
Now we're going to transition to our favorite part of the show, cracking up with the Ducks. Kevin, do you have a joke for us?
Not a joke, but a little bit of a pun. So, what's the difference between a cat and a comma? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
A cat has claws at the end of its paws, and the other is a pause at the end of a clause.
Mm-mm.
I figured I'd mix it up this time.
That's pretty good, though. That's
I'm
good.
sorry if everybody's just sick at their stomach right now.
No, they're not. They're not. Jody B is cracking up. Jody, make us laugh.
Well, I'm getting ready to head down to Princess, so I've been thinking a lot about princesses lately. So, which Disney princess would make the best judge? Snow White, because she's the fairest of them all.
Gene, would you like to make us laugh?
I'm sure I won't. I don't know any jokes, but I like French food. I like all kind of food, obviously. And as we're talking about dining, it just came to mind that I'd heard about this French chef, and he quit working at the restaurant, at the haunted restaurant. Do you guys know why? Did y'all hear about that?
No.
No.
He got creped out.
That's a good one, sir. I gotta give it to you.
Is it though?
It is.
It is.
It is. Well,
Bet
I
you
don't
won't.
have a joke, but I just was thinking, did you know that 5 out of 4 people admit that they're bad at fractions? I just thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Nah, it's kind of like, they say 33% of statistics are made up 45% of the time.
There you go.
It just happens. Math's hard.
Yes, it is.
Hey, I know this is not protocol, and you can cut this out if you want, but I wanted to ask you if y'all heard about something. Did you hear about, I don't know what the politically correct way you call them, but a little person. There's a little person. He was a fortune teller, and he was in prison, and the guy broke out. It's locally here. It was in the news. Did you hear about it?
No.
He was a small medium at large.
You should have led with that one, man. Now, don't get me wrong.
I just remembered it. That's why.
Don't get me wrong. We might be in trouble for that one, but we might get picketed or canceled. But I think that's
mean-
political correct term. Is
Yeah, I think that's
Small
right.
and small. I mean, just somebody that's smaller. You know.
I mean, yeah, we'll get the we'll get that check.
The attorneys on it.
Yeah.
yeah. Get our attorneys. Yeah. Run that by them.
Duckworth, our attorney Duckworth will get you a check on it.
They're on retainer. Don't worry.
And with that, we're gonna say put a bow on tonight's episode. And so, hey guys, thank y'all so much for coming in and listening to us tonight. We really appreciate it. I know we had some questions in regards to some of our rotations with the Ducks on the podcast. And Gene, I think you want to kind of just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just want to say that, that a couple of guys have taken a step back for, just momentarily. And just, we love them and we miss them. And, of course, you're still connected to them on Facebook and, on all the socials. And obviously we are too. But we just ask that you keep them in your thoughts and your prayers. Good folks. We love them dearly. And we miss them on the show. And, hope to have them back, pretty soon.
Hey, I think that says it all. So to Gene's point, guys, follow us on the socials. We're on Facebook at Disney with the Ducks. We're on Instagram at Disney with the Ducks. I think we're about to relaunch our Tinder page, Dating with the Ducks. But if you like what you hear, hey, we would love for you to go online and give us a rating. That it helps with the algorithm.
Just 5 stars. Just 5 stars.
That's
That's
all.
all. That's all we need.
And that's all we need. We're not asking for a lot. Just 5 stars.
Despite all the hate, aimed towards me, 5 stars. It's okay. My feelings are not hurt. 5 stars. You still give them 5 stars.
Do it for Gene. Do it for Gene. But thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
Have
we
a good
appreciate
one.
it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
We need somebody to say Quarini.
I know.
I guess I just did. Bye, y'all. What is that?
That's
don't
a
know.
cat. That's a cat. That's not in my house.
That's not my house.
That's
My kids
Jody
are
or something?
asleep.
No, it's not me.
I don't know what that was.
It's okay to have a short one. I don't think but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you probably are.